we are going to learn from that. We're going to learn from our mistakes. We're going to learn from where we fell short and rebuild to recapture power in 2028. I believe that we have what it takes to recapture power, and Ghanaians will get the opportunity to compare us to what our current government is doing, and then we'll take a decision in 2028 in our favor. I believe so.
You started reflecting the very day you lost your primaries.
Yes, I mean,
and there's a certain sense that usually when you people lose your primaries, typically what happens is that you check out. And so your contribution in Parliament usually is subpar. You're not as committed as you would be if you had won your primaries.
In fact, for me, when I lost the primaries, I spent more time in Parliament because one of the reasons why I also lost the primaries was because I was spending a lot of time in Parliament. The parliamentary craft is something you must learn. You must put yourself out there to learn, and it takes a while. So if you really want to do the job well, you have to compensate it with your constituency. It is a very difficult balancing act. And in fact, when you go for the first orientation, that is what those who have been there for a long time tell you. I remember the current speaker, Abangwa, telling us that the more time you spend in the chamber, the more difficult it gets for you in your constituency. So learning to balance that act
hasn't been that easy.
It's not easy. And also because our people want instant gratification. They don't understand why they have to wait for things to germinate or grow or gestate before they benefit out of it. So therefore, if we send you to Parliament, all their personal issues becomes the issues of the MP. The MP's core functions are completely different. The core functions of the MP is to legislate, to create laws, spend time to understand the material and even read the material so that you can be able to deliver on them. You spend all the time politicking and therefore do not make the time to even participate meaningfully in Parliament. So it's a very difficult balancing act. However, I tried my very best. So I didn't pull back. I rather worked harder. So I was given a few more committees to add to what I had already. I was on about 3 committees. And then I did my best for the people of Ghana and for Parliament as a whole. I mean, I'm sure my leadership, leadership will attest to it. Oh, I didn't
All right.
That's my son.
Yes.
That's my uncle.
He mentioned it before you came and said he was happy that he was going to be here with his uncle. So the man whose voice you're hearing in the background is Ambassador Sampi, who's joined us. He's the president of the NDC's Professional Forum. And so he's just taking his seat. I would welcome him shortly. But anyway, I think that he's good to go now. Good morning, sir. Thank you so very much, His Excellency, for joining us.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure having you.
Yeah, sure.
And happy Independence anniversary.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right. So, you're talking to me about...
so I really put in a lot of effort.
Okay.
I mean, I continued with all the things that I was supposed to do, especially for my committee. I served as vice chairman of the Environment Committee. And in that capacity, there's a lot that needs to be done. COP29, environmental issues in Ghana. We did the EPA bill. So I spent a lot of time on that as well. And yes, we were able to get it through. So that today we have a climate change act as part of our laws in Ghana, so that it allows us to access certain kinds of funding that we need and all that. So for me, I love the parliamentary craft, and I put in the effort to make sure that I delivered on my responsibilities.
Okay.
Beyond that, obviously, the constituency as well went to help to prepare for the general elections, and whatever it is what it is.
Have you also been reflecting on what may have possibly led to such a terrible performance in the last elections by the NPP?
Oh, I mean, it is obvious it was a function of bad governance. So it was glaring. Yes, there was economic difficulties. How did we manage those difficulties? Did we manage them in the interest of the people? Did the people see that as being beneficial to them? So in a nutshell, I don't think I'm the only person who holds that view. If you take my constituency, for example, we had road issues. It was one of the biggest things that the people of Ghana were asking for, much more than many other things. I lived in my constituency with a road minister for 8 years. And my people were expecting that, once we live with a road minister, we should be able to fix our roads. Because a chunk of our votes come from a certain section of our community. The roads were never done. We had promises upon promises. I don't even blame the road minister. And that is why some of us went after the finance minister at that time. Because there were very basic things that we believe that should be done for the people. I can give you another example. Maybe take roads out. Premix, for example. About 2 years. Premix volumes were like 10% of the previous year. 2023, 2022, 2024. 2022 to 2024. It dipped. About 8 months period where we didn't supply any premix to the coastal regions. And I'm from the coast. I have family along the coast from Accra all the way to Newtown in Nzima.
Why?
Subvention. Because government is supposed to pay a certain, it's subsidized. Okay. So the subsidies.
Yes.
And the BDCs that were doing the blending were not having access to the subsidy and were not being paid.
Oh, okay.
So they also
So it was a cash flow problem?
Yes. So it was a finance problem.
That's my final question to you before we move on. Because like I said, predominantly today, we want to focus on our independence.
Yeah.
As a people and the anniversary that we're celebrating, 68 years, because we want to, as I said, answer the question whether we're happy with where we are. If we're not happy with where we are, where did we go wrong and how do we make it better? Now, already in your party, the blame game appears to be getting worse. And one would have thought that, since December 7 till now, it's been 3 months. So it would die down and, the party would then think about how to reorganize and to basically put the past behind them and forge some kind of unity ahead and look at what to do going forward. But what we're beginning to see, or what we're not beginning to see, but what we're continuing to see is a situation where the blame game continues. And already, one of the issues that have come up has to do with the inquiry or an inquisition as to exactly what may have caused your defeat. Of course, scientifically. So you have the national doing its research work, or national has sanctioned a commission to do that. And then you have that of the region as well. And I've heard the former general secretary of the party who's gone berserk about why, for instance, the regional, the research was conducted by the Ashanti region is actually leaked or has been leaked to the media and everybody's talking about it. And why must you even have a parallel research being conducted by the party? It's for him, it signifies some kind of indiscipline. It's a reflection of some kind of indiscipline, which has caused the party, and the party hasn't learned its lessons yet. What's your take on that? The blame game and all this research that's been conducted.
So, the blame game would only end when we have...
I don't know how to send it to her.
Okay.
The blame game will only end when we have a comprehensive report.
Okay.
And based on that comprehensive report, we'll be able to now move forward. That report is what we're working on through the Okwe Committee.
Yes.
However, the Ashanti region went out on their own prior to the
commission of the
inquiry by the party.
Of the Okwe Committee.
It is just like individuals deciding to find out the reasons why we lost. Even in our communities, in our constituencies. I went for the album. I looked at the voter pattern, the voter album, the ones that we ticked, and I compared, and I saw that there were people who naturally go out to vote for the MPP who didn't even move out of their homes. So you call one or two and find out what was the problem, what was the issue, and they give you their answers. So I see it from their own, it being their own initiative, because the loss was very heavy. It was very heavy. Some people are attributing it to spirituality, and all kinds of things. So the loss was so heavy, it was not, everybody was, even if we're going to lose, and we lost by 152 seats or something of that nature, or 500,000 votes, or 100,000 votes, and there was around 2 It's like a soft landing. But this one, there was no landing pad. we just hit the ground. So
you mean you crashed the land?
Yes, everybody. It was like the plane that toppled over in Canada. We were expecting to land softly, and then we flipped over. So it was a big shock. Everybody who loves the NPP did a deep introspection or wanted to find out why. If it means that they have to go to their pastors to pray and find out why, or do a scientific research, they were doing it. Everybody's doing it. And as we go along, we've been able to unearth a few similarities all over the place. So I don't think there was anything wrong with that. Maybe they preempted what the party was going to do and went ahead to do that. However, the issue of it being leaked and all that, it's become a problem in Ghana. Documents that are moving from the office of the president to the vice president's office even ends up on WhatsApp. And it is just wrong. There's no privacy, nothing. And we see it all the time. They call it interception. I don't know how they intercept it, but it's getting to a point where it's decaying the structures of the state. So therefore, we must look for solutions to those problems. However, I don't see anything wrong with the Ashanti region going out there to do what they did, especially led by somebody like Osei Sabonsu. If it was something that he knew would not be in the interest of the party, I'm sure he would have never participated. He's not that kind of leader. I worked with him, I served under him, and I know his capacity and I know how he takes his integrity seriously. So he wouldn't have participated. But he was the chairman of the committee, and therefore I believe that it was done in good faith at the heat of the moment to find some basic information. Sometimes it's better to get the information when it's hot, and then you manage it. Because sometimes over time, people's ideas change, people's views change, people might even infuse different ideas to them, and they go and say, but when it's hot and they have actually done the thing, you can go to them and say, oh, Nebani, say, what happened? Why did you vote against us? They spill out and even spill out more than you need. So I think that it wasn't a bad idea. I'm sure all other regions were doing something similar. Maybe they've not concluded on it or have not put it out there in the public for now. But everybody was doing so. I'm sure every regional chairman and constituency chairman of the NPP has done some form of analysis of this election, whether it's on a paperback or a scientific one. Everybody has done analysis of this election, and the pointers are the same. Bad governance, slow response to the people, slow response to national issues on Galamsey, water pollution. I mean, these were issues that we all affected by. And therefore, the people of Ghana took a decision, and that is the decision that they've taken, and we respect the decision.